you ever watched a film that's really touched you, really made a difference to you? A film that's just encapsulated everything that potentially you're going through, or something you've been through in your life. Something that resonates with you. Something that sticks with you and makes you think, I feel like that film was exactly how my heart is feeling, or how I felt at that time. And it's stuck with you, and stuck with you for probably a long time. And it's a film that you may recommend to your friends. Well, this is what this video is going to be about today. We're going to talk about some amazing films that can help you stay positive, motivated, but also can touch your heart. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Positively Craig YouTube channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. Yeah, today is going to be a very fun episode of my video. We're going to be talking about one of my favourite things, which is movies. Yes, movies is one of my biggest passions. I love my movies, always loved my movies. I remember going back, living with mum and dad, and we used to rent videos from the VHS video shops. There used to be one which was on a place where I lived called Top Hat Videos. We always used to go to and rent videos. So one of the biggest things and one of the biggest passions that's always stuck with me, and probably stuck with you yourselves, is films. Now today we're going to be talking about films that have really inspired you, things that have touched your heart, that have stayed with you or resonated in your mind as being important to you. Now there's lots of films out there that we can use to help with our mental state, our positivity, motivation. There is some amazing films out there, and that's what we're going to be discussing today. So have a think about what films it is that really made a difference for you. What films stuck by you that when you're feeling a bit low, or you're feeling a bit down, or you're feeling like a little bit of a cheer up, you know, what films that you reach for on your shelf, or get onto your on-demand services, and what films you go to that makes you feel really good about yourself. Now we're going to be discussing quite a lot of films in this one. I'm going to rally through them relatively quickly because I've got a lot to go through, but we are going to really get in depth with this and talk about some fantastic films, some really powerful films that can make a difference to you, but also to people that you know, and also your family. Okay, so the first film I'm going to talk about today is a fantastic film. It's called The Pursuit of Happiness. Now, one of the reasons why I've chose this film is because in this film, Will Smith portrays, it is based on a true story, portrays a man who is very much down on his luck. He is homeless and he has a small his son with him, a small child, who actually is Will Smith's son in real life, actually played the role. But it shows the troubles, tribulations, the tough times that he has to go through. Some really heartfelt moments where he's sleeping in bathrooms with his child and he's crying, and it's an absolute fantastic film that can show you that having belief in yourself, having the strength to carry on, especially when you've got a child or, you know, people who depend on you, it's having that strength to not quit, not give up, and to keep going. And it is an absolutely amazing film. I recommend, if you haven't seen it, make sure you pick that one up, make sure you watch it. It probably will have you crying. It is a very emotional film, and it comes up to an amazing climax at the end of it, which is just absolutely heartfelt. It's one of a really good films. I find it hard to watch sometimes without getting a little bit emotional myself, but it's definitely one that you need to watch. Please go out and find it. Please go and watch it, because it can, you know, it helps you sort of stay on the right path, helps you stay motivated, because when you can see someone at their absolute lowest, they're actually rock bottom, which is portrayed fantastically in this film, to be able to continue, it's definitely one to watch. Okay, so the next film I'm looking at now is called John Q. Now, why I've chose this one specifically is this one is really close to my heart. It's Denzel Washington plays a father whose son gets very ill. By the way, there's no spoilers in any of these things I'm going to say. Obviously, they are yours to watch. His son gets very ill, goes into hospital. As you know, in America, they don't have free healthcare. It can run up to be very expensive. But what lengths would you go to help and save your family? And this is where it comes into truth. This is where it really gripped me. I went to see this on the cinema, and I'll be honest with you, there's a part in it where he's talking to his son. It's a very emotional scene, but it can resonate with anybody who has loved ones, has children, who, you know in your heart there's nothing you wouldn't do for your child, literally nothing. And he has a conversation with his son about something very important that he needs to do to try and help his son at this time. It made me quite emotional. This film is an amazing film. I suggest you go and see it. It is one of the best portrayals of the relationship between a parent and his child, the love, the bond, but also the lengths on which somebody would go to save their family member. And for me, it really stuck out for me, and it's definitely a film, if you haven't seen it, and I know a lot of people haven't seen it, definitely make it part of something you need to watch, because it is something special and it really, really makes a difference when you watch it. Okay, next film I'm going to talk about is going to be a fantastic one. This one is Billy Elliot. Yes, Billy Elliot. It's a fantastic film in regards to, if you want to sort of enlighten yourself in, sort of bring yourself up with how a child who wants to get into something that his parents don't support, his father, who is a Yorkshire coal miner, very, very sort of like, boys don't dance, boys don't do this sort of thing. But it also can resonate quite a lot to, if you're out there and you're, for instance, coming of age and you're growing up, and you want to get into something that maybe that you're scared to tell your family, scared to tell your friends about, that you enjoy doing, something like dancing, performing arts, or even, in some cases, whether or not, it comes into your sexuality. Now, this is something that I felt was a fantastic film, encapsulated the sort of struggles that, sort of the man's man, as the quote is that, boys don't dance, boys don't do this, boys don't do that, boys play football, boys go down the mine. The masculinity and naivety of sort of the older generations. And this is a film that can really embody the path that some people are stifled with, some people that are kept back with because they want to try something, but they may not have the support of their family or friends. So it's definitely one to watch. It's an uplifting film. It's a fantastic film. And in the end, to see how proud his family become, even in the beginning when they weren't that proud, it's definitely something worth watch. If you haven't seen it, it's definitely one to watch. You cannot miss it. Okay, off the back of that last one, there's another film which I seen recently. It's a film called Love, Simon. Now, the reason why I'm discussing this one is this is something that is very important. It's a film about a lad in school growing up in America who is finding himself and realises that, he is gay and would like to come out to his family, but he's scared. He's very scared to speak to his family about the ramifications, what will happen. Will his friends, disown him? With his family, not love him anymore? And there's a twist in it that someone finds out and they try to blackmail him with it. And it's a heartwarming story about, I'm pretty sure, a struggle that a lot of people out there will undergo. A lot of young boys, girls, people who are gender fluid, may not identify as a gender. I'm pretty sure this is a message that will really hit home to you guys, part of the LGBTQ community, that it's tough sometimes for some families to embrace and love their children if they decide, well, it's not that decide, that's the wrong word, if they realise that they are born gay or born a different way, that they're accepted. They're accepted in their family. So it's a fantastic film. It's a really heartfelt film. It's really done with good taste, lively humour, but definitely a good message that no matter who you are, no matter how you've been born, that you need to be who you want to be. You can be who you want to be. And you'd be surprised how many people will support you and love you. So yes, definitely a film to watch, and hopefully inspire a new generation to come out of the shadows and maybe embrace who they really are. Fantastic film. Okay, so I'm coming on to a film that's one of my favourite films. It's definitely one that I put on when I really want a bit of a kickstart. It reminds me of when I was growing up. It's Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Now, what a film. Now, if you haven't seen this film, it's an amazing film. It's set around 3 teenage kids growing up. Matthew Broderick is the main star, Ferris Bueller, and he decides to call in sick to school. But he wants to rope all his friends in. He wants to get his friends in and go out and have fun, go out to town and have an absolute laugh, but also try and get away with it. Now, there's so many different fantastic levels of this. Now, as you know, growing up, you know, it's that anxiousness, the tough times. He's got one friend who's very sort of emancipated and, you know, nervous, but he knows his friend's got his back and he wants to help him. He never takes risks, but Ferris is the risk taker, and he finally persuades him into doing some things that actually opens his eyes, changes his life. And it is an amazing, uplifting film. For me, it's a film I grew up with, it's a film I absolutely enjoyed, and it's one that I really love watching time and time again. So definitely watch it, definitely dig out, probably from the old archives. It is an older film, but it's an amazing feel-good film. Lots of laughs, lots of fun, lots of really good quotes that even now I quote to this day. But if you're sort of want a bit of escapism, want a bit of fun, bit of a laugh, definitely get involved in this one. It is 100% a film you have to watch. Okay, so we're going to talk about something a little bit different now. We're going to talk about films that inspire children. Now, obviously, we're all grown-ups. We watch these videos and we think about the films that are important to us. But if you look at now how the newer films portray to children, you know, the Disney, the Pixar films, what they've done to sort of try and bring to the forefront with a bit of fun, bit of animation, but also some really good facts and some sort of beliefs that we need to look after certain aspects of our future. Now, I'm talking about films like, for instance, The Lorax. The Lorax is an amazing film. It sort of encapsulates what it is like to run out of sort of the Earth's sort of resources, like deforestation, cutting trees down, and what effect that has. Now, it's all very undertoned, it's very sort of subtle, it's tuned down, but also is a fantastic method of getting that message across in how to look after our planet and what can happen if we don't, and potentially, you know, the future of our children, and letting them think a little bit more about how important it is to their generation. Because, as I say, at my age, I've got kids, it's now about their future. I've lived my life, you know, we've lived our lives, it's about their future. So little things like that is very important. Another film which I thought was absolutely fantastic, and this was brilliant, it's called Inside Out. Okay, this film talks about emotions. Now, as a child growing up, this is something that it's very hard. You have to figure out yourself. People can tell you about emotions, how you feel, how you should feel, how you should react to certain things. But as you're growing up, your hormones are all over the place, and it's very hard. So this film, Inside Out, deals with things like sadness, happiness, anger, you know, emotions that children feel as they're growing up in different situations, and portrayed in the mind of a small girl with their family, and it's how they react to certain situations growing up and how they should react. Now, it's a fantastic film to help children sort of understand the meaning behind emotions, what it is to be sad, happy, upset, angry. And it is a brilliant film that I felt they really portrayed it with fun, laughter, but also helps them understand the differences and when emotions can best be used. So it is a brilliant film. I absolutely love it, and it's definitely one that if you haven't watched yourself, you don't really see the subtext until you sort of really get into it, but it's definitely something you should watch. Now, in regards to the kids, there's another final one I'm going to talk about. It's one called Wonder. Now, it's about a young boy called Oggy, and he's born with facial deformity, and it's how his life is and how his life is led in his family group, but also in school. Now, some children, people born with disabilities, born different, born with problems that are out of their control. And as you know, in school, kids can be bullies, kids can be not very nice. Even when it comes to when you're our age, it's things where people will treat you differently. And this story is fantastic for kids to watch. It's okay to be different. It's okay if you do have something different about you, something that kids may take, the mick out of you and fun out of you. That is okay. It is okay. Kids will always automatically go to something that's different and treat it differently. But it's also about the dynamics of his family. His sister feels like he's the centre of the universe and everything revolves around him, and she gets neglected. Does that hit home to you? Is that something that you felt a sibling, may have took sort of more attention than the other? It's a fantastic film, and it sort of reminds kids that it's okay to be different. It's okay if something is different from the kid who sits next to you. Embrace it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's life. So don't let yourself get down, and be motivated by this story. Help yourself, because that's the most important thing. It has to be yourself that changes your mindset. Whatever people say, don't take any difference to what they say. Just believe in yourself. Okay, so summed up quite a lot of films there. Now there's probably 1,000 films I could go through. This video could go on forever. But there's loads of different films that a lot of people sort of put on to make themselves feel better, make themselves uplifted. Things like Dirty Dancing. That's a film that a lot of people that will put on. Pretty Woman. There's so many different films that you could put on that can make you feel better. But what this is about, what this video is about, is what is your favourite video? What is your film that you go to that makes you feel inspired? Is it Rocky running up those stairs? Is it, Julia Roberts getting rescued at the end of Pretty Woman? What is the film that really uplifts you, gives you motivation, drives you on, makes you feel a million times better? Because this is what you've got to understand. You've got to remember how amazing some films can make you feel, how uplifted you could feel. And these are what we're focusing on today. And this is why we've made such a big thing about this. Bit of a longer video than normal, but I felt it was really important, especially at this time. A lot of people suffering out there with obviously being isolated, being locked in. So this is really important video that I felt I needed to get out there, but also something you can help yourself with, something that you can drag yourself into and really embrace happiness and enjoy yourself and uplift yourself. So why not take out your old video? I would love to hear what your favourite videos are. What's your favourite video or short documentary, play? What is that really uplifts you and gets you motivated and makes you feel good about yourself? So please leave comments down below in the video, or give me a direct message or whatever on Facebook, but please reach out and give me some feedback. So yeah, I want to thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure doing this video. It's really fun doing this. Anything to do with films, I'm in. I'm a huge film buff. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. And as always, I've been Positively Craig. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.